کر سامنے آیا ابو طالب کا بیٹا. ہوئی جب ان کی ولادت بتوں کی آئی سامد. ہوئی جب ان کی ولادت بتوں کی آئی سامد. مقدر دین کا جانا ملی کعبے کو طہارت. بکارے خانہ کعبہ ابو طالب کا بکارے خانہ کعبہ ابو طالب کا بیٹا. آخر سے میرا ایمان علی ہے میری پہچان علی ہے. میرا ایمان علی ہے میری پہچان علی ہے. زمانے والوں سن لو میرا سلطان علی ہے. زمانے والوں سن لو میرا سلطان علی ہے. عرب صرف کا عرص محلہ ابو طالب کا بیٹا. صرف کا عرص محلہ ابو طالب کا بیٹا. بارے سلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآلِ محمد محمد وآلِ محمد صلوات. اللہم صلی علی محمد وآلِ محمد.
دم بدم علی علی دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار.
نعرہ حیدری.
دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم
علی علی پکار.
دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. پاک ہے لہو کس کا کس میں کیا خرابی ہے. کون ہے سخیفائی کون بودرابی ہے. پل میں سب کے چہروں سے ہوگا آشکار. دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. آل کی طرف گر تو ایک قدم بھرائے گا. 10 قدم زمانے سے خود کو آگے پائے گا. کیونکہ یہ نہیں رکھتے کسی کا ادھار. دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. نام فاتح خیبر گر تیرا وظیفہ ہے. دور ہوگی ہر مشکل یہ ہمارا دعویٰ ہے. خالی جا نہیں سکتا تیرا کوئی بار. دم بدم علی علی پکار.
نعرہ حیدری یا علی.
دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. چاہتا ہے گر تجھ سے سیدہ بھی راضی ہو. خوش ہو خالق اکبر مصطفیٰ بھی راضی ہو. منکران حیدر پہ کر دے بے شمار.
دشمن بیت بلانت بے شمار. حیدری علی.
دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. دم بدم علی علی پکار. ہر قدم علی علی پکار. محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ماشاءاللہ.
دیگر صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
سب سے پہلے آپ کو آج کا دن بہت بہت مبارک ہو. ہماری عید تو یہی عید ہوتی ہے، باقی عیدیں تو چلتی ہے وہ تو سب کی، لیکن ہماری عید یہی ہے. آج کی دن کی مناسبت سے ایک خوبصورت منقبت ہے. یا علی جھکتی ہے جب تیری پر نور جبین، تب مصلی پہ کوئی نور بکھرتا ہوگا. تیری خیرات پہ آیات اترتی ہے تو پھر تیرے سجدوں میں تو رب آپ اترتا ہوگا. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. وہ جس کی ٹھوکر کا دوسرا نام زندگی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. یہ سب ہے اس کی ولا کے درجے، سلے ہے سب اس کی معرفت کے. وہ جس کے صدقے کوئی نبی ہے کوئی ولی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. وہی نبی کو بتا رہا ہے جو آیتیں لے کے آ رہا ہے. یقین ہے مجھ کو جو ذات آیات بیچتی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک نبی کے ہمراہ دو جہاں جس بطول کے واسطے، وہی بطول اٹھ کے جس کی تعظیم کر رہی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. عمل سبھی محترم ہے جن کے کھلون لوح قلم ہے جن کے. وہ جس کی اولاد چاند سورج سے کھیلتی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. کبھی یہ سجدے میں سر جھکائے، کبھی یہ سو کر خدا بچائے. وہ جس کی ایک نیند رب کی مرضی سے قیمتی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت سے اجنبی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. وہ جس کی ٹھوکر کا دوسرا نام زندگی ہے وہ بس علی ہے. بشر کا ادراک کا جس حقیقت से अजनबी है, वो बस अली है। सवाब
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
जज़ाकल्लाह। बारह दीगर सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
आप सबको बहुत बहुत मुबारक आज कर बहुत ही मशहूर कलाम जनाब उस्ताद सख्ते जाफर साहब और मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलावत।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
जब खुदा को
माशाल्लाह।
पुकारा अली आ गए, जब अली आ गए जिंदगी
माशाल्लाह
आ
माशाल्लाह।
गई।
जियो जियो।
जब खुदा को पुकारा अली आ गए, जब अली आ गए जिंदगी आ गई। जिंदगी बंदगी रोशनी आ गई, रोशनी आ गई, आ गई आ गई। गुस्ल मैयत न कहना मेरे गुस्ल को, उजले मलबूस को मत कफन नाम दो। मैं चला हूँ अली से मुलाकात को, जिसकी थी आरज़ू वो घड़ी आ गई। मैं चला हूँ अली से मुलाकात को, जिसकी थी आरज़ू वो घड़ी आ गई। मौत इनके मुहिब्बों को आती नहीं, आ भी जाए तो फिर बच के जाती नहीं। मौत का क्या खतर, मौत से क्या हज़र, इससे बचना भी क्या गई आ गई। तेरी मसनद पे गैरों को बिठला दिया, नाइबे मुस्तफा मजहरे किबरिया। तू वसी ओ वली ही रहा, मंजिलत में तेरी क्या कमी आ गई। हमको सरशार इश्क और तवल्ला में थे, जानते ही न थे नफरतो दुश्मनी। ये तबर्रा भी वल्लाह क्या चीज है, हमको इग़यार से दुश्मनी आ गई। मसल के इश्क में मांगना ऐब है, मैं भी खामोश हूँ वो भी खामोश है। उनको सब है खबर इसलिए चुप हूँ मैं, क्या हुआ आँख में गर्नमी आ गई। खुम्स देना मवद्दत की एक शर्त है, और ना देना भी मिसले फदक है गुनाह। हक के सादा तो ज़हरा के मक़रूज़ से, जब तबर्रा सुना तो हंसी आ गई। क्यों न रोए वो किस्मत को अपनी सदा, जिनका पूरा मुक़द्दर है लानत ज़दा। जिनकी किस्मत में अपने ही आमाल से, बिन्ते अहमद की नाराज़गी आ गई। सूरह आले इमरान भी है गवाह, मिस्ल
حوض کوثر ہوئی آل ان کو عطا، اور جو کہتے تھے اب تر کو میرے، جو کہتے تھے اب تر نبی کو میرے، ان کی قسمت میں ہی اب تری آ گئی۔ جس کا مولا تھا میں اس کا مولا علی، جب نبی نے کہا دین کامل ہوا، مرحبا مصطفیٰ ربی راضی ہوا، اور وہ جو آنا تھا آیت وہی آ گئی۔ جبرائیل اور قمبر پہ کیا منحصر، در تیرا چھوڑ کر کوئی جاتا نہیں، جو غلامی کا تیری مزہ پا گیا، راست جس کو تیری نوکری آ گئی۔ عشق حیدر میں بھی پھرتے شام و سحر، ان کی مداح ہے سارے جنوں اور بشر، ان کی آورگی کا سفر دیکھ کر ذہن میں فکر آور گئی آ گئی۔ عشق جب تک نہ ہو شعر ہوتا نہیں، مجھ میں کب اہلیت تھی تیری مدح کی، میرے مولا میں قرباں تیرے عشق کے، سبت جعفر کو بھی شاعری آ گئی، شاعری کی شرائط بتا بھی گئے، اور اے عشق حیدر پلا بھی گئے، سبت جعفر میں قربان اے عشق کے، ابن جعفر کو بھی شاعری آ گئی۔ جب خدا کو پکارا علی آ گئے، جب علی آ گئے زندگی آ گئی، زندگی بندگی روشنی آ گئی، روشنی آ گئی آ گئی آ گئی۔ پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
اور محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
پھر بھی سلام پڑھنے والے
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
سبت جعفر صاحب کا یہ قربائی سے کرتا ہوں، پھر بھی سلام پڑھنے پر محمد۔
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد۔
یہ ربائی کعبہ کے سامنے پڑھنے کا بھی مجھے شرف حاصل ہوا، اور ایک بات جو میں کرنا بھی چاہتا تھا آپ سے کہ اگر آپ جب انشاءاللہ عمرہ کے لیے زیارت کے لیے جائیں تو ادھر جس قدر بندش ہے اہل تشیع کے لیے، آزاداری منقبت خوانی ہم آزادی سے نہیں کر سکتے، تو وہاں جا کے یہ احساس ہوتا ہے کہ یہ ادارہ، یہ سینٹر ہمارا، یہ ہمارے لیے کتنی بڑی نعمت ہے۔ ہم شاید اس کو اندازہ نہیں کر پاتے کہ ہم آزادی سے بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں اور ہر طرح ہم اپنی اظہار کر رہے ہیں اپنی عقیدت کا، مودت کا، یہ اندازہ ادھر جا کے زیادہ ہوتا ہے۔ تو آپ سے اسی بارے میں یہ بھی درخواست رہے گی کہ آپ اس ادارے کو، اپنے اس ادارے کو اون کریں، اس میں زیادہ سے زیادہ تعاون کریں، کیونکہ آپ لوگوں کے تعاون سے ہی ادارے کے تمام انتظامات برپا کیے جاتے ہیں۔ اور ہمارے پاس اس سلسلے میں ڈائریکٹ ڈیبٹ فارمز ہیں۔ انشاءاللہ ہم آج 13 رجب کے اس موقع پہ انشاءاللہ آپ سب سے درخواست کریں گے کہ دل کھول کے اپنے اس ادارے کو، اپنے اس سینٹر کو سپورٹ کریں۔ کارڈ ریڈر بھی ناظر بھائی لے کے بیٹھے ہیں ماشاءاللہ، جن کے پاس کیش نہیں ہے وہ بھی ہم ان کو بھی کیٹر کر سکتے ہیں، لیکن زیادہ ضرورت ہمیں ڈائریکٹ ڈیبٹس کی ہے کہ آپ مسلسل ہمیں سپورٹ کریں. بر محمد والے محمد صلی اللہ حیدر کی فضیلت کا بیان ہے اب حیدر کی فضیلت کا بیان ہے اب تاریخ زمانہ نگراں ہے اب جس در سے گئی بنت اسد کعبے میں جس در سے گئی بنت اسد کعبے میں دیوار میں اس در کا نشان ہے فضیلت کا اور محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. نہ بھول کر بھی کبھی تم کسی کی بات کرو نہ بھول کر بھی استاد پیارے خان صاحب کبھی تم کسی کی بات کرو علی کا ذکر کرو بس علی کی بات کرو کسی کا نفس کسی کا وسیع کسی کا ولی یہ سب صفات ہو جس میں اسی کی بات کرو علی کا ذکر کرو بس علی کی بات کرو ہے وقت نظر کا بالی پہ آئے ہیں مولا کہاں کی موت بس اب زندگی کی بات کرو فرشتوں کیسا سوال و جواب تربت میں فرشتوں کیسا سوال و جواب تربت میں اب آ گئے ہو تو بیٹھو علی کی بات کرو علی کا ذکر کرو بس علی کی بات کرو سمجھ میں آنا سکے گا کبھی علی کا مقام نہ اس طرح کبھی دیوانگی کی بات کرو لہد میں میری अंधेरा हो गैर मुमकिन है, लहद में मेरी अंधेरा हो गैर मुमकिन है, जहाँ अली हो वहाँ रोशनी की बात करो, अली का जिक्र करो, बस अली की बात करो, ना भूल कर भी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
Now I will humbly request our guest speaker from Peterborough, Sheikh Nabil Awan, who has honored us today. I'll request him, and could everyone please come forward, and especially the youth, unless you want to hear from Nabil Awan himself. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Nara takbir. Allahu Akbar. Nara takbir. Allahu Akbar. Nara risalat. Ya Rasulullah. Nara risalat. Ya Rasulullah. Nara Haidari. Yani. Nara Haidari. Yani. Ek do teen belanet. Besh. Ahle bayt belanet. Besh. Muhammad ali Muhammad buland salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي نور قلوبنا بشعاع أنوار المحبة العلوية، وجعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية المرتضوية، الذي فرض الله طاعته وولايته على العربية والعجمية. ثم الصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي المكي المدني الهاشمي، الذي سمي في السماوات بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الهداة المهديين، سيما أولهم أمير المؤمنين وآخرهم بقية الله في الأراضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. ورحمة الله على محبيهم ومواليهم وشيعتهم أجمعين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ملعونين. Amma ba'd, for the happiness of Hazrat Zahra Mirziyah, for the enlightenment of the graves of your marhumin, of the graves of the shuhada, ulama and siddiqeen, for the safety of the followers of Ahlul Bayt around the world, and for the safety and the hastening of the reappearance of Hazrat Baqiyatullah al-A'zam arwahun al-fida, please recite a Haydari salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Yazid ibn Ka'na bin Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib said that we were sitting in the precincts of the Kaaba when we saw a heavily pregnant Fatima bint Asad enter. She began doing tawaf of the Bayt. When all of a sudden she began to feel the pains of labor, she held on to the house and began to beseech the Lord. She said, "Oh my Lord, I believe in you, and I believe in every prophet that has come down from you, and every book that has been revealed by you. And I also believe in the words that were uttered by my grandfather Ibrahim al-Khalil, the one who built this house. My Lord, for the sake of my grandfather Ibrahim al-Khalil, the builder of this house, and for the sake of the child that is within my womb, ease the pains of my labor. Yazid ibn Ka'nab says that we saw that the house broke open from the side. Fatima bint Asad went inside, فَغَابَتْ عَنْ أَبْصَارِنَا فِي, and she disappeared from in front of our eyes. We ran towards the place from which Fatima bint Asad had entered, but the place had sealed shut. We went round the front in order to try and open the locks. We used all the keys that we had, but none of the keys would work. We took rocks to try and break the padlocks, but the padlocks would not break. All of Mecca began to find out that Fatima has gone inside. What is it that she's eating inside? Who is there inside with her? She was heavily pregnant when she went inside. Everyone begins gathering outside of the Kaaba. The first day, the second day, people are now gathering en masse outside of the Kaaba. What is going on inside? How is Fatima surviving inside? They say on the third day, again, from the very same place the Kaaba split open. Fatima bint Asad emerged from the darkness of the Kaaba into the light of the day. وَعَلَى يَدَيْهَا عَلِي.
Subhanallah.
And upon her hands was Ali. Fatima stood, she looked at the people, she called out, "O people, I have been honored over all of the women before me in the world. I have been honored over Asiya ibn Mazahim, the wife of Fir'aun, who was forced to worship Allah in a place where Allah does not like to be worshipped except under duress. And I have been honored over Maryam, the mother of Isa, who was told, having given birth to Isa, that to go outside from here, shake a dry date palm, and dates will fall from you. She says, my honor is this, that Asiya worshipped God in a place which God does not like to be worshipped, but he invited me into his home to worship. Says Maryam was sent out and told to shake a date palm and eat the dates that fell from it, but I was invited inside the house of God, and I was given food from heaven and drink from heaven for the whole time that I was there. She says that when I made the intention, now that my child was born, when I made the intention to leave the house, a caller called out, Ya Fatima Sammihi Aliya. Oh Fatima, name the child Ali. Why? Says, for I have derived his name from my name, فَأَنَا عَلِيُّ الْأَعْلَى, and I am the highest Ali. Says, I am the highest Ali. And then she said, and he said, فَأَدَّبْتُهُ بِأَدَبِي, and I have taught him adab from my adab. I have taught him the secrets and the mysteries of my knowledge. And he shall be the one that will break the idols in my home. He will be the one that shall climb on top of the Kaaba and give adhan from on top of the Kaaba. Glad tidings to those who love him and follow him, and woe upon those who turn their backs on him and become enemies towards him. Fatima bint Asad comes out. And often what happens is that people think this, a fadilat of Ali, that Ali was born in the Kaaba. Our brothers of the Ahl Sunnah, their ulama, they write, Alusi and amongst others, they write that the fadilah of Ali ibn Abi Talib is this, that none before him, none ever after him until the day of judgment would ever be born in the Kaaba. And it is the fadilat of Ali ibn Abi Talib that he was born in the Qibla of the Muslims. And sometimes we fall into this trap as well. our shu'ara, in our sha'iri, in the poems that we recite, we put this as one of the fadila of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that Ali is that man that was born in the Kaaba, as if Ali is muhtaj of the Kaaba. In fact, the reply to this, don't hear it from me, hear it from the son of Ali himself. When Abbas climbs on top of the Kaaba, when he hears that there are assassins in the area trying to assassinate Imam al-Hussein, Abbas asks for permission. He goes on top of the Kaaba. He starts his khutbah. He says, Alhamdulillahi alladhi sharafa hadha biqudum abi. Says, praise be to that Lord that gave sharaf to this Kaaba through the footsteps of Ali. Man kana bil bayti amsan. Says up until yesterday, Alusi said Ali was born in the Qibla of the Muslims. This becomes the fadilat of Ali. Abbas is saying, no, this isn't the fadilat of Ali. Man kana bil bayti amsan. Up until yesterday, it was a bayt. Fasbahat qibla. But when Ali came and Ali was born in it, it became qibla. It became Qibla when Ali was born inside it. This is not the fadail of Ali that Ali was born in the Kaaba. It is sharaf for the Kaaba that Ali was born inside it. It is not sharaf that the walls parted for Ali or the stones moved for the mother of Ali to enter in. Because everything in this world understands the wilayah of Ahlul Bayt. Everything in existence, every stone, every tree, everything in nature knows the position of the wali. And Abbas also explains this. He says, لولا حكم الله الجلية واختباره العلية لطار البيت قبل أن يمشي لديه. He says that if it were not for the laws of physics that God has placed down in this world, you would have seen before the Hujjah could walk towards the house would lift itself from its own foundations and fly towards the Hujjah. قد استلم الناس الحجر والحجر يستلم يديه. Says that all of mankind wishes to kiss Hajar al-Aswad, but Hajar al-Aswad wishes to kiss the hands of the Hujjah. Fatima comes outside. Rasulullah comes forward. He comes forward to take, and now the Noor meets the Noor again. That Noor that was one in the primordial realms, now in the material realm, the Noors join again. Fatima says, Ya Muhammad, says that this child, he hasn't opened his eyes yet. So the Holy Prophet takes him into his hands. And Ali opens his eyes for the first time. And the first thing he sees is the blessed face of Mustafa. At this point, the narrations say that the Holy Prophet addressed the infant. Said to him, Ya Ali, will you not recite for me from the book? The child replies, Ya Rasulullah, what shall I recite? Would you like me to recite Tawrat? Or would you like me to recite Zabur? Or shall I recite from the Injil? Or would you prefer I recite from the Quran? Rasulullah says, Ali recites from the Quran. Before the revelation of the Quran, says Ali recite the Quran. Ali from all of the Quran, what does he recite? Does he start from Fatiha? Does he go to Surah Baqarah? No, this is Amir al-Mu'mineen coming. Where should he start from? He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qad aflaha al-mu'minun. Says the Mu'mineen are successful. Now that Amir al-Mu'mineen has come, Rasulullah takes Ali, hands him to Abu Talib, and Abu Talib takes the child home. The Arabs come and they say to him, Abu Talib, you know, we have a tradition amongst us to check the legitimacy of your child. Says Abu Talib, we have a snake. You know our tradition. Abu Talib alayhi salam says, look, I don't believe in this, but if you must, then go for it. Says that if the snake bites the child is illegitimate. If the snake leaves him, your child is legitimate. Abu Talib says, go for it. They let the snake go. It comes towards the cradle of Ali, enters inside the cradle. Two hands come up from this infant. All of a sudden, they see that the snake is in two parts. His mother seeing this, she says, this son of mine, huwa Haydara, he is Haydar. I don't know. So I don't know what it is about this name of Haydar and two parts. Here, as a child, he says, his mother says he is Haydar. The snake is in two parts in Khaybar. When Marhab comes out, and he says, Ana alladhi sammatni ummi Haydara. When he walks away, Marhab is in two parts. How can one understand who Ali is? An individual whose very essence is mixed with the Quran. Amir al-Mu'mineen, everyone's surprised. How is Ali reciting the Quran? But the Holy Prophet says, Ya Ali, مثلك في أمتي مثل قل هو الله أحد. Says Ali, your example in this ummah is like that of Surah Tawheed. Says whosoever loves you, Surah Tawheed, you know the famous hadith, whoever recites one Surah Tawheed has recited a third of the Quran, receives the thawab of a third of the Quran. Recites two, receives the thawab of 2/3 of the Quran. You recite three, you receive the thawab of the whole Quran. The Holy Prophet says, Ya Ali, your example in my ummah is like that of Surah Tawheed. We can open it up more and more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Qul huwallahu ahad. That say Allah is one. Here Allah is one and there's no other Ali either. There's only one Ali. Says, Ya Ali, your example is that of Surah Tawheed. Your example is that of Surah Tawheed. Whoever loves you with their heart, it is as if he has completed 1/3 of the Quran. Whoever loves you with his heart and his tongue, it is as if he has completed 2/3 of the Quran. But Ya Ali, whoever loves you with his heart, his tongue, and aids you with his hands, it is as if he has completed the whole Quran. In other narrations it says, Ya Ali, your love is like this, that whoever loves you with their tongue has completed 1/3 of Iman. Whoever loves you with his heart, has completed 1/3 of Iman. Whoever loves you with his heart and his tongue has completed 2/3 of Iman. But Ya Ali, whoever loves you with his heart, his tongue and his very actions, he has completed all of Iman. Love of Ali is such that it gives you all of Iman, and why not? For he himself is kulli Iman. He is the totality of Iman. What a great blessing it is that we have been given Ali as an Imam. Given Ali as an Imam. This wilayah that we have within our hearts is not something small and insignificant. This wilayah that we have been given is an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you go to Najaf and you recite Ziyarat Aminullah, and those that have been, may Allah give them tawfiq again, and those that have never been, may Allah take them very soon, inshallah. When you go to Najaf and you recite Ziyarat Aminullah, the first line of that ziyarat is Assalamu alayka ya Amin Allahi fi ardah. Salams be upon Ali, the amanat of Allah upon the earth. The trust of God upon the earth. What we have in our hearts, this love that we have, this is that love whom the narration say that if you have that love of Ali in your heart, Imam Sadiq says that if you have the love of Ali in your heart, then thank your mother for being pure. It doesn't come. You know, after Amir al-Mu'mineen splits the snake in half, they say now we have no measure of legitimacy and illegitimacy. And especially when they reached Medina and the government of Medina was established, now the Muslims were people were becoming Muslims and people were worried. Is my child legitimate or not? Or is it illegitimate? And they would come to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I don't know whether my child is legitimate, whether my wife was faithful to me. Please, how do we solve this problem? Rasulullah says, they say we no longer have the snake to figure it out. Rasulullah says, I'll give you a solution. Come outside your houses at the time of Salah, and when Ali leaves his house, place your children in front of Ali. If your child smiles when he sees Ali, know that he's legitimate. But if he turns his face away from Ali, know that he's illegitimate. This love is not easy to come across. It is indicative of many things, of iman, of legitimacy. Some people become upset on the fada'il of Imam Ali. They become upset on it. But those that are the mu'mineen, the fact that you are here in the celebration of the birth of Amir al-Mu'mineen, then give du'as to your mother who gave you this amanah. Because we have to preserve this amanat that is given to us, both in our own self, but also for our future generations. How is it that we will preserve this for our next generation? And then generations to come after that. It's the most important thing that I have been given. Someone comes to the sixth Imam, says, Ya Ibn Rasulillah, he says, please help me, I'm poor. And Imam Sadiq looks at him and says, no, you're not poor. He says, Ya Ibn Rasulillah, I don't have anything, of course I'm poor. Imam Sadiq says, no, you're not poor. He says, Ya Ibn Rasulillah, I have no food to eat in my home, I'm poor. He says, no, you have something that is so priceless. He says, Ya Ibn Rasulillah, what is it? He says, look, if I was to offer you all of the wealth in the world, and I was to tell you, turn your back on the love and the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib, would you do it? He says, no, I would not. The Imam says, then never say that you are poor, because you are always rich when you have the love of Ali. Having that love of Amir al-Mu'mineen is important. And the man stands up and says, yes, that's enough. But the Imam calls him back, still gives him help, but he says, but just don't forget, you have something that is priceless. And so when we're given a priceless thing to take care of, or even a thing that's expensive, for example, someone says, look, I'm going away, can you just take care of my car? You can use it while I'm away, but take care of it. Now what will I do? An expensive car, I know I can't afford to replace this car. So I'll make sure that I take care of it. I'll make sure that I will keep it clean, won't get it scratched, won't park it somewhere where someone could dent it. I'll do everything. Why? Because this is an amanat that has been given to me. Something that is very expensive, that I can't risk damaging. The love of Amir al-Mu'mineen is also an amanat that we have been given. To maintain ourselves, but also maintain for our future generations. This comes down to spouse selection as well. Then who is it that I wish to be my spouse, the mother of my children or the father of my children? Are they those that will also have the same level of wilaya as I do? Or is it less than mine? If it's less than mine, then I risk. Then I risk tainting that wilaya, that covenant, that trust for the future generations. If it is above mine, even better, because I'll aspire to be better. Because this is so important. You know, some people, they asked me, I remember I was in Africa, and they were saying, look, can we marry some non-Shi'as, people, they love it, but they don't accept wilaya in the way that we. And I gave them this example. I said, at times you have family heirlooms. Mothers gather gold, grandmothers gather gold, I'll pass this on for my children. And so you receive this family heirloom. And then it's your turn to now pass it on to the next generation. And you look across your children. And you see the first one is a bit clumsy. He's always losing things. You buy him things, he breaks them. The other one's a little bit messy. He'll take care of them, but his phone screen's always covered in handprints and foods everywhere. I don't think he's the best one. And then you have another child whom is very particular about everything. And will make sure that everything is correctly kept and everything is maintained and safe. So you'll look at this family heirloom that you have received through generations, and you'll look at the children to whom you need to give it. And you will always think, no, he's too messy, he's unreliable. The third one is one that is to be trusted. So that's naturally the human inclination, is to naturally go and give that heirloom to that person, because they will maintain it for another generation. When it comes to the wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen, we're very lackadaisical. I just said the wilayah is a covenant. That first son or first daughter who was clumsy and absent-minded may be really good looking. The second son or daughter that is really messy may be very wealthy. The third one that is all respectful, is one that is organized and everything, has not the looks of the first, nor does he have the wealth of the second. But you will still give it. Why? Because this person will take care of the heirloom. And so this is why the Sharia says, look at Iman first. Because you go for looks, the looks Allah will take them away. You go for wealth, you will never taste any of that wealth. But you go for Iman, Allah will give you looks and wealth. So this wilayat that we have been given, we have to be careful where it is that we choose to share it, where we choose to go, the environment that we place our children in. Let it not be the case that the school that we send them to, even though the fees are really high and they can help them get a job, but is their wilayat at risk? Or do you think their iman and their love of Ali will remain? Every single thing needs to be measured in this scale. That will the wilayah be preserved. That's why Amir al-Mu'mineen is known as Mizanul A'mal. Weigh all of your actions against Ali ibn Abi Talib. Weigh all of them and measure the things I'm doing in my life, the things that I'm acting like in my life. Are they fulfilling the rights of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Are they how Ali would want me to act?
Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah.
If I can say yes, then I'm on the right track. But if I think that I would be embarrassed that Amir al-Mu'mineen sees me in this particular situation, with this particular attitude, in this particular dress, then I know I'm leading on a path away from the wilaya. And don't think just because you're born into the wilaya that the wilaya will always be with you. Because history has told us sons of the imams rejected the imamat of the next imam. The sons of Imam al-Rada, one of the sons of Imam al-Rada, of Imam al-Kadhim, sorry, rejected the wilayat of Imam al-Rada. Ja'far al-Kadhab, who some say is Tawwab, it's debatable. Ja'far al-Kadhab, who rejected the wilayat of our Imam and tried to take the mantle from the 11th Imam, is his brother. So being a direct descendant or the son of an Imam does not guarantee that the wilayah will remain with you. Just because you were born in a Shia household. This, being born in a Shia household, I think I may have mentioned before, is back to Alam al-Mithaq, in the realm of the covenant, when the covenant of the wilayat of Ali was taken from every single thing. Amir al-Mu'mineen says to Qambar, he says, Ya Qambar, all of existence was asked about our wilaya. All of the plants and the animals. Those plants and animals that accepted our wilaya entered the dunya, from the malakut into the dunya. If they accepted our wilaya, they entered into the dunya as sweet fruit, as edible fruit, as fruit that was good, or as halal meat animals that were of benefit to the human being. Those that rejected the wilaya entered as inedible fruits, poisonous fruits, as animals that were of haram meat. Oh Qambar, those believers who in the day of and in Alam al-Mithaq accepted our wilaya when our wilaya was asked from all of existence, those that accepted it were born Shia in this world. Those at that time that were not, either did not accept it or were slow in accepting it, that the opportunity went from them, they entered this world as non-Shia. But to be able to move between the wilaya and in and out of the wilaya is very easy. Those that were born in the wilaya, yes, your responsibility is greater because you were given this covenant from birth. And so you will be judged upon it from birth. Those that were not born in the wilaya can come towards the wilaya and enter into the wilaya. Those that were born in can leave it through sin, through turning their back on Allah, from not fulfilling the commands of the master. They can leave the wilaya. So this wilaya is not something that is a given. And we've seen it in our own lives. Maybe you know people like this as well. That when they were younger, they were very into the wilaya. They loved the azar. They loved coming to Jashns. They loved listening to the fadail of Imam Ali. But something happened along the way and they're like, oh no, you know all of this, I don't believe it now. I think it's we need to change. The wilaya has left them. Don't think it's just random, they become enlightened. No, they become cursed. The wilayat has left them. Why? And many a times it's down to the company they keep, the spouse they have, all of this adds up to it. That this wilaya that you have been given, any time you turn your back on that wilaya, it's a difficult situation. If everyone could move forward a little bit so the brothers that are coming after, it'll be easier for them. Please recite salawat and come forward. So this wilaya is extremely important. You must maintain it in the best way. If you can't maintain it in the city or the country that you are in, then hijrah is wajib. If you say, oh no, here we can't do this because, hijrah, it's wajib, go. Go to a place where you can maintain this covenant. It's a Quranic injunction. Go, leave that place. Go find a place where you can practice your faith. Like the early Muslims were sent to Ethiopia. Why? Because Najashi, though a Christian, was a fair man. And so they were sent there. Go practice your faith there. It's easier for you there. So to do hijrah at times is required. Because when one understands this, it's the same way, isn't it? You have gold at home, and then at one point you hear of a spate of robberies in your area, and you're like, oh, things are getting dangerous. So then you go and find a safety deposit box, and you put it there. Your gold, your amanat has migrated, has done hijrah to a safer place. The amanat you have is the amanat of Amir al-Mu'mineen that is inside of you. If it is being attacked, then do hijrah. Go to another place where it can be maintained. Because that is paramount over everything. You lose this wilayah, it is eternal damnation. You maintain this wilayah, even if you fall slightly short, there is the wasila that will help you. So and it's very important to understand this. To live one's life in accordance with the command of the Hujjah of Allah. To mold one's life to the life of the Hujjah. Claiming to love Ali is one thing, but actually acting like you love Amir al-Mu'mineen is another. Two different things. Amir al-Mu'mineen himself says, I know you can't live like me. He says, I know you can't. But عينوني بورع والاجتهاد. But at least help me through your abstinence and through your striving towards Allah. Don't become lackadaisical in this pursuit. Allah is something that is to be gained, that is to be achieved. Ma'rifah of Allah. Otherwise Allah is everywhere. And we're in the most perfect opportunity right now. The holy month of Rajab, Sha'ban, we lead towards Shahr Ramadan. We have many ayam Allah, the days of God in these months. The ulama, the urafa, the awliya of Allah would say that at every wilada of an imam, every shahada of an imam, the actual date, there is a door of the khas rahmah of Allah that opens. There is a very specific mercy of God, a very specific rizq and sustenance that becomes available to people around those times. Now obviously the wiladat of Amir al-Mu'mineen has passed us by, but up until before Maghrib today and yesterday night, that door of that specific sustenance was open. If you had used the wasila of Amir al-Mu'mineen at that point, your journey, now it still works now, but the portal was open, as it were. And so it allows you to ascend quicker. There's a very specific rizq that is available, a sustenance that is available in the first 10 nights of Muharram, around the ayyam of the shahadat of the imams or the birth of the imams. There is a change within the cosmos, within the very malakut that drives into this realm. And so you need to be able to capitalize on that. We've entered into a period where it is the period of ascension, where you will reach the peak of your spiritual year, which is Layal al-Qadr. But you will not be able to unlock Laylatul Qadr without the preparation from Rajab and Sha'ban. Laylatul Qadr comes and goes. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of my life I've been coming to Laylatul Qadr. I dread it every single year. Every single year I'm like, oh man, they put the slow reciter on. Every single year I get there and I'm trying to tick the box. Oh yeah, I did that Surah Rum, Surah An-Qubut, Surah Dukhan, oh 100 this. Religiosity, spirituality is not quantifiable. It's not a quantitative matter. It is a qualitative journey towards God. It can't be quantified. The only quantifiable things within the religion are your wajibat. Your 5 times a day you must pray. This is quantifiable. But the rest of this journey is qualitative. It's not based upon how much you do. It's the quality of what you do. But you cannot unlock Laylatul Qadr. Imagine one night. How many of us have said that I left Laylatul Qadr and I ascended 80 years? Because Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. Meaning one act that you do on the night of Qadr is times by 1,000 months. It has the power of 1,000 months. That's a whole lifetime, over 82 plus years that are there. So how many of us have ascended 82 years every Laylatul Qadr? Imagine for 82 years you did nothing but worship God day in, day out. What would your maqam, your position be spiritually? But yet we have that opportunity every single year in Laylatul Qadr. But I don't ascend. Why? Why is it that I don't ascend? Why is it that higher realities do not unlock for me? Why is it that I don't get deeper understandings of God and the religion and how all of this alam works? Why is it that I cannot quantify the exact rizq that I received on Laylatul Qadr? Because the awliya of Allah can. They can quantify, they can say, yes, last Laylatul Qadr Allah bestowed me with this. And the reason is because we don't prepare. It's like trying to go and climb Everest and not even once trying to take a mini hike before to prepare myself. Preparing myself with burgers and chips and donuts and all of that, and now I'm going to go and climb Everest. I'm dead halfway through. Imagine Laylatul Qadr as an Everest. Forget anything else. Our Imam embarks upon a 3-month spiritual exercise program to be able to receive the amr that he receives in Laylatul Qadr. The Hujjah of Allah embarks upon a 3-month spiritual exercise program to be able to receive the realities of Laylatul Qadr that he receives. And here I am. Laylatul Qadr, yeah, okay, I'll just knock back a few Red Bulls and find a wall to lean against. Ask me to sit with my friends all night, no problem. Ask me to do ibadat for an hour, oh God, how long is this going to take? And there lies our problem. How is it that I can be the Shia of such an Imam that was known as Imam al-Arifin, the Imam of those that know God? And how is it that I can be claimed to be one of his Shias? You know, when one of his companions was caught by Muawiyah Mal'un, he said to him that Sufli Abul Hasan, tell me about Abul Hasan. He said, Muawiyah, leave it. He says, no, you know, the other thing is the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, they also enjoyed the Fada'il of Ali. They didn't admit it, but they also enjoyed the fada'il of Amirul Mu'mineen. They would have competitions within each other. You know, sometimes once there was Amr ibn al-As Mal'un and Yazid Mal'un and Muawiyah Mal'un, all of them were together, and someone came and donated a rug to, I think they're just trying to get the ladies to be quiet. I can hear you back here as well.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, salawat.
So someone came and gave a rug to Muawiyah and whatever. It was a very nice one, and he came in, and there were all 3 of them were saying, "Oh, I want it, I want it." And Muawiyah said, "I know. Let's have a competition." Said, "Let's have a competition." He says, "What's the competition?" He says, "Let's see who can recite the greater fada'il of Ali." Who can recite the greatest fadail of Ali, and then they can have the rug. So Muawiyah recites some poetry, Yazid recites some poetry, Amr ibn al-As, who's smarter than both of them combined, he recites his poetry. He says that the greatness of a man is known through this one thing, that enemies like these two also recite his fadail. They go, you win here. Yeah? So he says to him, Sufli Abil Hassan, tell me about Abil Hassan. He says, Muawiyah, leave it. He says, no, tell me. He begins to list various things about Amir al-Mu'mineen. The last thing he says to him, he says, Ashhadu billah ya Muawiyah. He says, I bear witness, I swear by Allah, O Muawiyah, لقد رأيت في بعض مواقفي وقد أرخى الليل سدولا وقد غارت نجوم وهو واقف في محرابه قابض على لحيته يتململ تململ السليم ويبكي بكاء الواله الحزين وهو يقول يا دنيا غري غيري. He says that, oh Muawiyah, I swear by Allah, on a number of occasions I would see him, Ali, standing in the mihrab of ibadat in the middle of the night when the stars were disappearing. وَهُوَ وَاقِفٌ فِي مِحْرَابِهِ قَابِضٌ عَلَى لِحْيَتِهِ, holding on to his beard, يَتَمَلْمَلُ تَمَلْمُلَ السَّلِيمِ, writhing like a man bitten by a venomous snake, and letting out cries and loud buka, wailing loudly. And in this state that Ali was standing in the mihrab, shaking out of fear, shedding tears, he was calling out, Ya dunya ghurri ghayri, oh dunya, go deceive someone else, because Ali is not to be deceived. That's Ali that spent the night in ibadat, every night in ibadat, that when he was struck on the 19th and he was being brought home, he looked towards the sun. He said, oh son, bear witness that you have never seen Ali sleep, but Ali has always watched you rise. Then how is it I as a Shia don't have love of ibadat in the night? How is it that I of a Shia have never prayed Salatul Layl? What sort of Shia am I? That Ali, that was the speaking Quran, that Ali that recited Quran from the hands of the Prophet, that Ali that would say, come and ask me, and if you want to know the questions from the other books, then I will give you the answers from Tawrat, and I will give you the answers from Zabur, and I will give you the answers from Injil, and if you wish I'll give you the answers from Quran. Such answers I will give you that the books themselves will call out, Sadaqa Ali ibn Abi Talib, the son of Abu Talib speaks the truth. That Ali that had that love of the Quran, when was the last time I picked up the Quran? When was the last time I recited the Quran? Then tell me, can I claim to be a lover of Ali? Ali is Mizanul A'mal. Weigh your life with the life of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Ali's ibadat on one side, Ali's Quran on one side, your ibadat and your Quran. Compare. Is it at least you're trying? Or I can't be bothered, I just about recite my wajibat here and there. Like, am I even bothered by it? Am I even bothered by it? See, that's the thing, right? Like, for us, we hear it, and then we go, and then that's it. And Laylatul Qadr will come, and Laylatul Qadr will go, and then we've missed all the divine glory that was at our disposal at that point. The journey begins in Rajab. At the very least, 7, the one who fasts 7 days in the month of Rajab, 7 doors of hell will be closed for him. The one who fasts 8 days in the month of Rajab, the 8 doors of heaven will be open for him. At the very least, every day, 70 times a day, 70 times astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh is recommended for this month. 100 times a day to say La ilaha illallah. How difficult is it? It's not difficult. But yet, I don't do it. I much rather be sitting there scrolling through TikTok videos, watching people make fools of themselves, while I waste away my youth. Next month is Sha'ban and the ibadat increases because it's like a training program for you to be able to reach the holy month of Ramadan and then reach the peak event, which is Laylatul Qadr. Sha'ban will increase again. In Munajat Sha'baniyya, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says that, my Lord, I have wasted my youth. أبليت شبابي في سقرة التباعد منك. Says, my Lord, I have إلهي وقد أفنيت عمري في شرة السهو عنك. My Lord, I've wasted my life in committing the crime of forgetting you. وأبليت شبابي في سقرة التباعد منك. And I have destroyed my youth, intoxicated by committing crimes to stay away from you. The youth of Ali is the one whom has Allah at the forefront of his actions. The youth of Ali. How is it that I seek to raise children on this wilayat when I can't even pray? When I don't recite Quran? Do you think these kids are going to come and pray our Salatul Mayyat? In the UK right now, so many different events, Salatul Mayyat I've been to, where the kids are like, oh, why do I have to shake his shoulder for the talqeen? Why is it that I need to do this? Oh, how long is this going to take? Kids have no clue what ghusl is, what kafan is, how Salatul Mayyat is conducted. And who are you going to blame? Those parents that were so obsessed with just working and not imparting the wilayah on their children. Yeah, we'll take them to madrasa and then that's it. They'll babysit them for a couple of hours and then come back. Our youth are in a dire state. Wanting to be like, I don't know, weird and odd role models. You know, like this whole Andrew Tate thing. Those of you that have heard of the fool. He becomes Muslim. Oh my God, he's amazing. What do you think? That Amir al-Mu'mineen didn't say anything like this? You don't think that there are certain adab in how you speak? Adab. Forget whether what he is saying is right or wrong. The man doesn't have basic adab. Doesn't have basic manners in how he speaks. He's arrogant. That is not who the Shia of Ali should be following. Arrogance is the one thing that will destroy you faster than anything in this world. But the problem is that we haven't taught them. So they go after one joker after another joker, finding one trend to follow, another trend to follow, you know, with no direction in life. No desire for education. No desire to better themselves. When Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Al-hikmatu dhalatul mu'min fakhudhi al-hikma walau min ahli al-nifaq, says that hikmah, knowledge, is the lost treasure of the Shia. Go seek that knowledge wherever you must go, even if you have to go to the munafiq. Because it's your property, but our Shia is not. We have no desire to learn. No desire for knowledge. The 13th of Rajab, yes, is good. But at the same time, we have to look, is my life molded around the life of Imam Ali? When we want to reach Laylatul Qadr, the timing begins now, the preparation for it is now. So that you can unlock the secrets of Laylatul Qadr. The realities of Laylatul Qadr will not manifest if you don't open yourselves towards them now. The pure heart will unlock Laylatul Qadr. It is the hujjah of Allah, everything is coming. تنزل الملائكة والروح, all of the malaika, Ruh al-Qudus, it is as if the malakut of the alam is being drawn into this world. It's a merger of the two realms, the semi-material realm with the material realm, all being pulled to a single point, and that is the heart of the hujjah of Allah. When you bring that this close, then those divine rays that come out of that relationship of the malakut coming towards the hujjah is where we benefit from. But we can't feel it. Rajab is an opportunity for us to really spiritually analyze ourselves and cleanse ourselves to ascend. And then Sha'ban again until we reach Shahr Ramadan. Having the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen is not just being able to recite qasidas, isn't just being happy at the name of Imam Ali. It is actually living your life in accordance to the teachings of Ali. How is it in my house, my daughters don't observe hijab, but I still claim to be the follower of Ali? It's hypocrisy. Ali says, Al-Muhasinu zinat al-Rajul. The beard is the beautification of a man, but I get rid of it. Am I in line with Ali? These are realities. Am I in line with Amirul Mu'mineen? Or is my house the epitome of that which is opposite to Amirul Mu'mineen? And believe me, you go for years going against them, then there will come a time where this wilayah is taken away. If not from you, but from your future generations. On the 13th of Rajab, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you that wilayah that is immovable, that you can transmit pure in the best form to your future generations. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives our sins. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the sins of our parents. Oh Allah, those of our parents that are alive, give them long lives. Those of our parents that have left this world, give them a place next to Ali Muhammad in Jannah. Oh Allah, give us tawfiq to go on the ziyarat of Ahlul Bayt this year and every year. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to go on Hajj and Umrah this year and every year. Ya Allah, keep safe our ulama and our maraji and keep them at the head of our institutions. Ya Allah, keep safe the Shia of Ali Muhammad around the world. Ya Allah, destroy the enemies of Tashayyu in whichever form they may come. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of Yusuf al-Zahra and allow us to be amongst his true muntadirin, his true waiters, for the acceptance of these du'as and any of the du'as that you brothers and sisters have brought, and for the upliftment of the graves of your marhumeen through the barakah of three of your loudest salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma
हैदर 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 जान नबी औलाद मोहम्मद हैदर हैदर
در محمد و آل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد اللهم صل على محمد و آل محمد اللهم صل على محمد و آل
نعرہ حیدری حیدری
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات